I mean, this is really going to get me assassinated. I mean, I was supposed to go back to D.C. How am I going to survive? This is going to kill me for sure.
Grab your go bag. Go.
What he doing ain't worth it. Listen, when people
setting him up for what?
When people say things to me and they be like, "Yo, Donald Trump really cares about this country," Elon ain't got no reason to be doing what he's doing.
He's like, listen, they can hate me, but all these people that hate me own Tesla stocks. But at the end of the day, when you got to put some money into the stock market so your kids go to college, you're going to put it in my company. So shut up.
I'm gonna be honest.
This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com, TatumStore.com. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the craziest sale of the year going out right now. It's the March Madness sale. Ladies and gentlemen, you can go on and get some of our products here. This is the new releases. Here are our best sellers. However, the sale is specifically for the sale section. 50% off of all of these sale items. You better get it today. Some of these are your fan favorites, and I want you to take advantage of it because it's not going to last long. 50% off all of the products in the sale section. All you got to do is go to Tatum Store and click on the sale section, and it will automatically be put into your cart. All right, you don't have to put a code in or nothing. As soon as you go to the cart, you buy from this section, you'll automatically get the discount. Now, if you buy from this section, you buy another item, you'll only get the discount on the item that was in the sales section. All right, like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Let's get into this. Andrew Schulz. Last video we did on Andrew Schulz, it hit 1 million views, didn't it? Andrew Schulz dropped truth bomb on Charlamagne on Elon Musk situation. Let's put Andrew Schulz on the screen. And I say this every time. Like, every time I watch Andrew Schulz in a clip, I almost feel like he's getting better at clearly debunking the foolery that Charlamagne is saying. And I promise y'all this. Andrew Schulz won't say it publicly because I think him and Charlamagne are good friends. I bet you when they out to dinner, Charlamagne really think he a conservative. I bet Charlamagne really is like, yeah, bro, I agree with that, man. This is crazy. And then when he get on the podcast, he try to defend a little bit of the Democrat side to be a devil's advocate. But I bet you Charlamagne, when he talking to people, he like, yeah, Trump doing the right thing, bro. These people, these Democrats are crazy. Like, they're going to lose the election. Then when he get up there, he has to present, because the black folks want to see him represent them, he got to kind of present a devil's advocate version. That's just my opinion. Roll the clip.
You don't answer to him.
Well,
he's an elected official.
Well, what does it matter if you're an elected official or not?
Come on. Yes, it does.
Cash Patel's not an elected official.
But he's the head of the FBI.
Yeah, but he's not elected.
But he got sworn in by the Senate. Elon did not.
So you're saying that, and again, I could be wrong about this, but you're saying that if the president hires anybody to look into anything, they're not allowed to do it unless the Senate swears them in?
Yes, if you're going to be over how the federal government spends people's money.
But the amount of people that spend our money that are part of the federal government that we have not sworn in is what's caused all this bloat and bureaucratic that we're dealing with now.
I don't know anything about that. I'm not even going to sit here and act like that. I do.
I mean, there's all these programs. I do know
that's the problem with Elon Musk.
There's all these programs that they're slashing right now, right? Yes. Again, I don't even know what they're slashing, but there are all these programs that they have said have gotten a lot of bloat. In other words, that there's a lot more people have hired. They've hired for these certain like interest projects, and these interest projects have been potentially completed, and those people haven't moved on to work on anything else. They're just still there getting paid by our money. We didn't hire them. The Senate didn't hire them. Somebody at that company hired them. So I guess what I'm trying to understand is like,
I don't know how that works. I really don't.
I think it works just like any committee.
When you're FDA, you're in charge of nuclear weapons. I don't know how that works.
The Senate can't come in and approve every single person that's hired on every single committee. Maybe they could. Maybe it should be done where like the Senate approves like the person that's the head of the committee or something. Maybe that's the pushback. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like if you have nothing to hide and there is no issue, let's look at the books.
No, sure, but it has to be.
Why is that a big?
You can't have unchecked, unauthorized power from somebody who's not an elected official. You're rich.
Go. It's finna get better. Just 1 second. Let me clarify this a little bit. Nobody, every FBI agent is not sworn in by the Senate. The director of the FBI is. The director of the FBI controls the FBI. So we get the people at the top of the food chain. That's like when you have a senator whom you vote for and they get elected and they get sworn in. The senator's aides and assistants and people interning, none of them have to get sworn in. The discretion of the senator is how they begin to fill positions within their Senate office. Same thing with the president. The president has given authority to then pick certain people that are not sworn in. Like the deputy FBI director is not sworn in. The director of the FBI is, but the deputy is appointed by Donald Trump and can be removed by Donald Trump. So you can't vote him in and you don't have to impeach him. So when he says, I'm going to create an agency to do investigations with the constitutional authority that's afforded to the president of the United States of America, the commander in chief, he can then select somebody in good faith that will carry out a certain job. And if you don't have a security clearance, you can't see top secret or classified information. You can only see X, Y, Z. And for them saying it's already been debunked, they saying they got access to your social security numbers. They have access to your social security numbers before Elon Musk was alive. So what are y'all talking about? It's all fluff. But this is where I think Andrew Schulz, if I'm not mistaken, this is where I think he finishes the conversation very succinctly. Roll the clip.
Grab your go back. Go.
What he doing ain't worth it. Listen, when people
setting him up for what?
When people say things to me and they be like, "Yo, Donald Trump really cares about this country," that's the only reason doing it. I can believe that coming from him. Elon ain't got no reason to be doing what he's doing. None.
Why?
Whatsoever.
He's got the most to gain from America being successful.
Ron Elon.
He don't want to go back to
Ron Elon.
You pissing off
his America thriving helps him thrive.
Yeah.
It helps him get to Mars or whatever that he wants to do. If America is in a tough financial situation, you know the first thing to get clipped? The rocket ship to Mars.
But why become the most hated man in America?
He don't care.
You don't care. He's the richest
Like
man.
some of these guys don't care. You have to understand.
Dang.
Charlamagne, how long have you been dealing with hate? You get numb to that shit. You don't give a f. He's like, listen, they can hate me, but all these people that hate me own Tesla stock. So how much you hate me?
It's different. It's different when some.
You know what I mean? Like, how much you hate me if all of y'all drive a Tesla? How much you hate me if you all invested in SpaceX?
I agree
How much y'all hate me if you're all on X? So it's like,
that.
you hate me because your friends retweet you when you say shit about me. But at the end of the day, when you got to put some money into the stock market so your kids go to college, you're going to put it in my company. So shut up.
I'm going to be honest with you. I can't just.
Boom. Tell me he's deceiving or not telling the truth. Andrew Schulz is right on the money. Like it's all a pony show. I mean, I think y'all understand it. It's all a pony show. It's all bull crap. These people are stupid. They don't. I see cars driving down the street. Tesla owners against Elon or something stupid. Like, that's like somebody super chatting me every day because they hate me. That's like somebody buying all my merch because they mad at me. I hate Tatum. That's why I'm gonna buy 3 shirts today. And I ain't gonna even use the discount. Can't stand him. Tatum store people against Brandon Tatum. Well, am I mad at you? I kind of not mad at you. You put money in my pocket. Why would I be mad at you? Well, people running it up. They got Tesla car. They got Starlink at their house. They got the charging port at their house that they didn't bought from Tesla that cost like a couple $1,000s. Y'all got the whole kick and caboodle. And also, not only did you purchase the Tesla, you're driving a Tesla, you are an open marketing tool. You'll drive that thing around and you're advertising for Tesla. So somebody see you in the HOV lane, like, dang, they get to drive Tesla in the HOV lane. Maybe I should get me a Tesla. So I don't have to sit in line, not be able to get in the HOV lane because I don't have 2 people in the car. Dang, that car kind of snazzy. Dang, look at that car take off at the light. They got some juice on it. Look at that Cybertruck. That Cybertruck kind of hard when you see it in real life. I think I want to get me one. So not only are you spending money, you're making him wealthier, and you're advertising for him, yet you say you're mad at him. Your friends that hate Elon Musk are idiots. I just want to say that. And the reason I say that they're idiots, not because you can't hate the guy or dislike the guy. They don't have a legitimate, substantial reason why they don't like Elon Musk. They have no idea. Go ask them. Cause he got access to the Social Security numbers. He owned PayPal. Do y'all remember? You know what financial information that they have in PayPal? If he wanted to screw you over, they'd have screwed you in the PayPal days. But somehow he gonna get to the United States government and get your Social Security number with your 500 credit score and your $30,000 of student loan debt, $100,000 for gender dysphoria delusion studies, and he gonna take your money and use your money to do what? Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't know how much a billionaire is. He not just a billion. He not just 10 billion. He not 100 billion. He not 200 billion. They say he worth 400 billion right now. You can't spend that money if you tried. And he wants your Social Security numbers so he can plug them into Tesla. Shut the front door. They just saying stuff. They don't know why they mad at that man. They just been told, hate him, hate him, hate him, hate him, hate him. because back when they were told to love him, love him, love him, he's changing the world. Mr. EV himself, he got the new Tesla car. He doing this. Elon Musk, and they loved him. They kissing his butt. He the savior of the crunchy granolas. And now they told to hate him. Now he must go to hell. Just they did the same thing with Donald J. Trump. They loved Trump. He was all over the media. He did all these things, and then now he got to go to hell because some leftist lunatic don't like his politics. Let's see. I want to talk a little bit about the just real quick. This is not even a full thing. Oh, let's go to Elon Musk clip on Joe Rogan, because this is what I was talking about. Now, this is a little bit of Elon Musk and some of the things that he did at Doge. In this same interview, and I don't know if this is the clip of the interview, but in this, 7 minutes, so it should be long enough. I think in this interview, he talks about the fact that they used to love him. And he talks about the fact that he's afraid for his life, too. It may be all in this clip.
It's more than just insider trading. Like the insider trading stuff, like the stock portfolio stuff is quite trackable, but there's, it's a lot more than insider trading.
The way they're acquiring wealth.
Correct.
And what other methods?
I mean, this is really going to get me assassinated. It's like I'm not lengthening my lifespan by explaining this stuff, to say the least. I mean, I was supposed to go back to DC. How am I going to survive? This is going to kill me for sure. In fact, I do think like it's like I actually have to be careful that I don't push too hard on the corruption stuff, because it's going to get me killed. Yeah. It's like I was actually thinking about that on the plane flight over here. It's like if I push too hard on the corruption stuff.
So this is Elon Musk on Joe Rogan, kind of revealing some of the things that he's found. There's another clip out there. We don't have it. Maybe we'll get to it another time. There's this guy, my wife sent it to me. This guy was claiming that Elon Musk lied about all the stuff. The numbers aren't really what they say it is.
Elon Musk is not saving the government any money. Let me explain. Ever since Donald Trump gave Elon Musk the green light to seize control of the federal government, they've claimed that they're on the path to save us trillions. But it's all a lie. Full stop. Just last week, Musk posted a wall of receipts celebrating how much he had saved by canceling federal contracts. But as of today, they've since deleted all 5 of the biggest savings on the list. The $8 billion contract that they cut from ICE, turns out it was just $8 million. The 3 separate $655 million contracts at USAID, turns out it was just one $18 million contract. The $232 million they cut from the Social Security Administration, turns out it was just over $500,000. And that's far from the only lies that they've spun us. The biggest contract, still on their list, a $1.9 billion cut from the Treasury Department, a contract canceled by Joe Biden. The truth is, Elon Musk has not found or canceled one significant source of spending that we didn't already know about. One of the biggest lies told in Republican politics is that we have no idea where our debt came from. But all of it, every penny, can be traced back to budgets passed by every president, including the $7.8 trillion that Donald Trump added to our debt in his first term. And while Donald Trump and Elon Musk like to dress up and pretend that they're cutting spending, they're on track to pass another $4.5 trillion tax cut for big corporations and billionaires like themselves. Don't allow the dumbest, most corrupt people to deceive you.
I'm interested in seeing what Elon Musk's response to that is. Because I think that if that guy in that video is right, Elon Musk has some explaining to do. Now, if he's wrong, I want to see Elon Musk debunk him. Let's roll this clip from Elon first. Roll it.
In the case of Twitter, it wasn't a profitable company. It was like basically a break-even company. But at least it was break-even, and it had to pass an audit. The federal government is not break-even. It's literally losing $2 trillion a year, and it does not pass its audits. It fails its own audits. So, there's a case where, I think Senator Collins was telling me about how she gave the Navy $12 billion for more submarines, got no extra submarines, and then held a hearing to say where'd the $12 billion go, and they were like, we don't know. That was it. Basically, the stuff is so crazy. It's like only the federal government could get away with this level of waste. Waste. It's mostly waste. It's mostly not fraud. It's mostly waste. It's mostly just ridiculous things happening.
Because they've been able to do it this way for so long. They've become accustomed to it.
I sent the clip to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Milton Friedman said, like, money is most poorly spent when you're spending someone else's money on people you don't know. How much are you going to care?
Right.
And that's the federal government. So they're spending someone else's money on people they don't know. You could put a payment through with no payment categorization code and no description on the payment, like basically untraceable blank checks. This is the kind of thing that if it was done as a public company, the company would be immediately delisted and the executive team would be thrown in prison. But this is just normal at the government. So we said, okay, our recommendation to the Treasury and the Federal Reserve is like, we need to make the payment categorization codes mandatory, not optional, and there needs to be an explanation. We're not judging the quality of the explanation, but there should be some explanation for what this payment is for above nothing. That's a radical change to the system that is being implemented now.
Hold on.
My guess.
I want y'all to think about that. Can you imagine that they can have payments and their books don't have to show where the payment went and why it went there? Y'all have no idea how much money and time I spend on my little company. You know, it's obviously over 7-figure generation as a company, so it's not like a little bitty mom and pop. We not no 8-figure company. We're not a 9-figure company. The country is a $1 trillion company, and we have to have bookkeepers on staff. I mean, when I say on staff, we partner with a company that manages our books. Everything I buy has to be categorized, personal, business, everything. Then we have to package all of that and give it to a tax attorney to go and file taxes. And all that stuff got to be lined up. You can't just go and just do whatever you want to do, no categorization. I mean, we spend hours and hours and hours. Our staff get together and put all this stuff. My assistant says, hey, what's that? You spent this, you spent that, you spent this over the weekend. What is that? That business or personal, this, where is it at, the receipts and all this other stuff. I mean, we pay thousands of dollars to file our taxes. We pay probably over $10,000 a sum a year to have the bookkeepers manage and do all this other stuff. And we have staff in-house that manages our books. And if we didn't do that, they'd have my hanging somewhere. But yet, the government playing with your money. Roll the clip.
That probably saves $100 billion a year.
Jesus Christ.
That's
where was that money going?
Rough order of magnitude. Probably.
Where was that money going?
Well, so this is where you get into the sort of gray boundary between waste and fraud. If money is sent to a person or organization from the government, and you didn't really deserve it, but the government still sent it to you, is that waste or fraud?
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot of payments where someone just approved the payment, but then that payment officer changed jobs or retired or died, and the payments just keep going. You know, it's like if you forget to pay your gym membership or something like that.
Right.
Now, imagine it's not the gym membership. You said your gym membership's $20 billion a year or something, you know. But they forgot to turn it off. I think we should not put the public safety at risk,
no.
You know, because of some demented philosophy.
Somebody made a post today about it infiltrating the NSA. Did you see any of that?
That was
crazy.
Some gnarly stuff.
Yeah, crazy. What they had, it started off as just like this sort of fringe thing, and people would meet up. Then it completely infiltrated the organization. Yeah, and they were spending all their time.
It was like 400 people or something, and some sex chat room with like some extremely demented stuff.
Yeah, so more than 100 intelligence staffers will be fired over sexually explicit texts in NSA chat rooms, Gabbard says. So top intelligence official told Waters that the workers in question were brazen in using an NSA platform intended for professional use to conduct this kind of really, really horrific behavior. What is the behavior? What is it? Do they say in this article?
Yeah. I think they were also...
Okay, it says employees who participate in the NSA's obscene, pornographic, and sexually explicit chat rooms.
Your tax dollars at work.
Well, it was all like... it was all like LGBTQ stuff. There was a lot of like transition stuff, and I know I definitely saved it, but point is, it infiltrated the organization.
It's not what they should be talking about
at all.
At all.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be protecting the country.
Right.
Yeah.
And people were talking about how they're spending half their time in these meetings and that they're just like constantly having to attend these things where they talk about these issues. Like, what are you doing? Like, if you have a problem with someone that's discriminatory, get rid of that person. That's it.
Yes.
Problem's over. You've got someone who's homophobic in your business. They're openly homophobic. Yeah, you can't work here. That's not cool. That's it. That's it. You don't have to have fucking meetings constantly promoting this. You're not going to change someone's opinion by berating them over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, a work environment should be a professional environment where they're getting the job done that they're being paid to do. It should be.
Of course,
it's obviously not supposed to be sort of getting paid for bizarre sexcapades. The real threat here is to the bureaucracy.
I just want to get it up. I don't want to end up getting copywritten or something for having too much of one content. So I got to break it up every now and again. But does he sound like an irrational person? This is why I'm glad he went on Joe Rogan's show, because hundreds of millions of people see this or listen to this. Does he sound irrational? Does he sound like a person who's going and trying to steal your information and take over the government and the country and all this other stuff? Is he trying to do that? No, he just seemed like a rational person. Do you know how ticked off I am to think about the fact that stuff like this is going on in the government and nobody has even tried to figure this out? Nobody has even tried to have an audit of the United States government. And then they get all crazy with you if you say there's a deep state and this. I am perplexed at the amount of corruption that probably goes on in our government, and it's now in your face. They're having 100 people getting fired in the NSA, 100 people because they're in a sex chat on duty. Nobody's watching over this stuff. And it takes this man to go in and dig, and then they finding stuff. It takes a Trump appointee, Tulsi Gabbard, to find stuff. What was these other people doing in office? What were they doing? You know, they say, well, they got, this. I'm going to tell y'all this. Most of y'all have gone to the DMV or MVD, whatever it's called in your state, the DMV, and you like, oh my God, dude, it takes forever to get through. The government can do nothing right. The government can't be efficient in nothing. And the truth is the government can be, but they don't have no oversight whatsoever on nothing that they do. And they hire randos to do the job that hate their life and don't even want to do. They're not properly trained, or they have some training manual that they spent thousands of dollars on that they just check. I saw it, didn't read it, didn't verify it, no nothing. This is what we have. And then these people that don't care about their job, that no oversight, they in there just tooting their thumbs. Hey, ma'am, I want to get my car registered. Oh, you got to get in line way back there, okay? Next. How do you spell your Johnson? How do you spell John? Can you write it down for me? Okay. Doing it wrong, ain't looked at nothing, ain't studied nothing, don't know what's going on, took way too long, nobody's auditing the time and speed, nobody's advancing technology, nothing in the government. And this is the stuff that I think that Elon Musk is talking about, is that a payment is sent out and somebody dies or forgets and they just keep the payment going. Now, somebody's mom and pop should work like that. Somebody who's not paying attention to their money. I've done it, but I'm not the government. I don't have $1 trillion budget where I can afford to put these things into place and have them operate properly. This is the biggest company in the world, is the United States government. And we have literally nobody checking the budget. And we just going deeper and deeper in debt, and they're like, oh, I guess we ain't got to worry about that. All us dead now. We dead. They got to worry about that. Let's just spend. Let's a lot of people. Let's spend more money to get people encouraged to vote for me. And they just run it up to one day our country get taken over. But they're going to be far dead, so they don't care. Roll the clip.
So, like, you probably saw, like, you know, let's say, like, Trump as a threat to our democracy, which is ironic since he was elected with the majority of the popular vote. They started saying I was a threat to democracy. But if you just replace threat to democracy with threat to bureaucracy, it makes total sense.
Right.
So, I mean, the reality is that our elected officials have very little power relative to the bureaucracy until Doge. So Doge is a threat to the bureaucracy. It's the first threat to the bureaucracy. Normally the bureaucracy eats revolutions for breakfast. This is the first time that they're not, that the revolution might actually succeed, that we could restore power to the people instead of power to the bureaucracy.
Now, the size of it
Yeah.
was when you guys first started investigating it, when you first get in, How much of it was shocking? Like this, just the size of it all.
Well, the size of it all, small decisions result in multi-billion-dollar outcomes. So, we'd see, there was a case where we saw one person was getting $1.9 billion sent to their NGO, which basically got formed about a year ago and had no prior, no prior activity. So they just stand up an NGO. The whole NGO thing is a nightmare, and it's a misnomer, because if you have a government-funded non-governmental organization, you're simply a government-funded organization. It's an oxymoron.
Right. It's a loophole.
Yes. It basically, the government-funded NGOs are a way to do things that would be illegal if they were the government, but are somehow made legal if it's sent to a so-called nonprofit. But these nonprofits are then used to, people cash out these nonprofits. They become very wealthy through nonprofits. They pay themselves enormous sums through these nonprofits.
It's so insane that's been going on for so long.
It's a gigantic scam. Like one of the biggest, maybe the biggest scam ever.
And let me just say this real quick, and I think that's the end of the clip, that it's not just Democrats. I want you guys to understand it. It's not just Democrats. It was a Republican, I forget his name. I think he took over for the Attorney General's position for a very short period of time, I think. And I remember conservatives never saw this. I'm sure they didn't. I just so happened to be watching C-SPAN or something, and this guy was the acting FBI director. So he was like in some transition. They were questioning him, the Democrats. He was the Trump administration. He was a Republican. They were questioning him, and they said, "Hey, what is this nonprofit?" And there was some nonprofit that was created. He said, "How many people are in this nonprofit?" And it was only him. And he said there was $1 million donation to this nonprofit. Who controls the finances of the nonprofit? It was him. Who received the millions of dollars from the nonprofit? It was him. So he created a nonprofit that some wealthy person donated $1 million to go directly in his pocket. That's exactly what he did. He was a Republican under Trump administration. So it's not just Democrats. I bet it's more Democrats than anything, but it's not just Democrats, man. That's why Republicans never wanted those either. Come on, let's keep it 100. Republicans never did this either. Democrats have definitely never done this. Donald Trump does it, and who's more upset? The Democrats are more upset. Why? Because I think they're the ones that take more advantage of it. There's a couple Republicans going to get their head whooped over this, I guarantee you. But half of the Democrats are probably doing it. I can't believe, like, let me tell y'all this. People need to be put to death for some of this stuff that they're doing. If you are knowingly and intentionally creating a nonprofit to scam the American people out of their money, something extreme has to happen to you by law. I honestly think there's got to be some consequences. You can't just, sorry, bro, I accidentally sent myself $5 billion. I don't know. Oh, now my net worth is, no, I accidentally sent myself $20 million. Now my net worth is $400 million. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll give you the 20 back. Sorry. Oh, you'll get 20 back, but you worth no, all your money, all your assets need to go back to the United States government. And you just spend the rest of your life in prison. Listen, let me tell y'all something. I would never defraud anybody. I don't understand, especially not as a grown man. I don't understand how people defraud companies. I always wonder, even in my company, I feel like I got a lot of great people here, but you can never turn your head, right? You can never act like it never happened to you. I would never work in a company like mine and be stealing money off the top here and there and doing this. I'd never do that to anybody's company because I understand a very good principle. First of all, God is watching me. Second, if I do my job right, I'll get a piece of that money one day. Or I'll move on to somewhere else where I'll get more money. I'm gonna reap the benefit of that success in that company. If I do my thing and I work hard and I make myself valuable, I'm gonna get a little bit of money. I ain't gotta steal this little right here. Because if I get caught, I'm going to jail. I ain't never get a job again. I don't need to do that. I work hard. I bust my butt. I create value. I have a little bit of that. I ain't got to steal it.